Happy Saturday, YouTube. I am back with yet another Transformers unboxing, reveal, whatever you want to call it. And I had to go a little off the board in terms of brand this time around because I couldn't find this character in the Masterpiece brand. And the couple options, I think there might be 3 options for him out there. And I chose the one that was the only reasonable price. This guy was the cheapest. I looked at him online, comparisons between the different brands, and he actually looked better than one of the other ones, and he was the cheapest. So I thought, you know what, and he's Masterpiece scale, so I was like, you know what, he may not be the top one in this category, between the 3 brands, but he's pretty close, right? Like, he's an easy second. And so I thought, the one company that was the most expensive, there's a brand called Bad Cube, and they've got quite a few of the characters that I can't find in the Masterpiece line, but they're all like $224, and it's like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, is it Unicron I'm buying, right? Like, and it's like, no. So this one was only $50, and he's not too far off the quality from what I could see. So I decided to pull the trigger on him and add him to the collection. So without further ado, today's reveal is the Autobot Brawn. Brawn was one of the smaller Transformers that in the original toy series was in like the Microbot line, so like Bumblebee, Cliff Jumper, Huffer, who else? Wind Charger, all those guys. He was one of the smaller ones that had the really simple basic transformations, and as you can see, his box is a lot smaller than a lot of the other guys I've done. So he is relatively the size between the other characters. He is a smaller type of character. So here's a look at his G1 toy, just so you can get a sense of how small he was and how basic his transformation was. Now, in terms of Brawn's character, he's not named Brawn for a reason. He's not named Brawn for no reason. He is strong. Although he is small, one of the smaller Autobots, pound for pound, he is one of the strongest Autobots. And much like when I did Grimlock last week, I mentioned, that Grimlock prizes physical strength and prowess over everything else. And Brawn is very much the same, only he's not completely unreasonable, almost like Grimlock is, right? Brawn, his strength is his obvious strength, but he considers not being strong a weakness. There's an episode I remember where Perceptor, who is, he transforms into a microscope and is basically the Autobot nerd, uses his brains rather than his brawn. And in one episode, Brawn was continually making fun of Perceptor until later in the episode, Perceptor kind of won the Autobots a fight by using his brains, but Brawn was quick to admit that, oh, okay, maybe strength isn't everything, good job, Perceptor, that sort of thing. So he's not like Grimlock in the fact that he can't be reasoned with, right? So Brawn he will admit his mistakes, but he does prize that strength over everything else. His one weakness is that and he's got the bravado too, right? Like, he's all, and his one weakness is that his almost indestructibility and his high strength and his bravado can get him into some precarious situations here and there. So here is a couple of clips that I kind of spliced together from one episode that just show Brawn in action and showcase his character a bit as he's out on a mission with first Trailbreaker and then Wind Charger. Here we go.
Spinning my flywheels. Those jets look sickeningly familiar. They're Decepticons, Trailbreaker. I'd recognize their slimy contrails anywhere. Hey, and it's losing time. That's what I call bringing the house down.
We're too late, Trailbreaker. The Steel Stealers are long gone.
Oh, hexagonal nuts. We better roll back to headquarters and report.
It's puzzling. Why did the Decepticons take those steel beams? Any thoughts, Bumblebee?
Just one, Prime. Spike, launch the satellite. One Sky Spy coming up. If the Decepticons are cooking up something, we'll zero in on it soon enough.
Ron, Wind Charger, there's a Decepticon formation below.
It's that traitor Skyfire.
You sure you two don't need my help?
We got it covered, Skyfire. You check out the mysterious energy readings in those ruins. And when you get back,
We'll let you play kick the can with what's left of Megatron and his merry machine.
okay, Wind Charger, let's go.
The Autobot jet is afraid to fly.
Wrong again, you dipstick tape deck.
We just didn't want him to spoil our fun.
You're next, you airborne garbage bucket.
You must have a blowout in your logic circuits. There's no way a midget like you can handle the mighty Megatron. Ouch! I think old Laser Breath may have a point. Let's peel out of here, Braun.
Is this all the fun?
Remind me to discuss your definition of fun sometime. I'm contacting Skyfire. Too close for comfort. Come in, Skyfire.
Read you loud and clear, little buddy. I'm switching on my afterburners.
Ouch! Hey, that's murder on my audio receptors. You're celebrating too soon, Braun. Soundwave.
Wind Charger, Skyfire. I hate to say it, but if you don't get me out of here fast, there won't be enough of me left for spare parts.
Yeah, so there you can get a sense of kind of what Brawn is all about. Like I said, a different brand. So now I've got, outside of the Masterpiece brand, which most of my characters are, I think this is maybe the third or fourth alternate brand that I've had to try. And so far they've all been on point in terms of scaling, Masterpiece scale, and also looking at them, you can't really tell that, oh, this guy came from a different series, right? So that was kind of my fear when I started buying guys that were off the Masterpiece brand, is that I was pretty confident they were going to be the right size because it all said Masterpiece scale in the listings, but you don't know until you actually pull that character out of the box in terms of what they're actually going to look like, you know. So far everything has been good, but we'll find out if the Final Victory series can hold up like the other ones have. So let's get him out of the box and find out. Brawn, or as he's known in the Final Victory series, Hummer. No tape on this one. Okay, empty. So, Final Victory follows the same kind of format that these other guys do. And by that, I mean that on top of the instructions, they also issue a collector's card. Although it's not really artwork, though, it's just a picture of the toy and stuff. So, not as cool as the artwork ones, but at least it's something. Oh my god, look at this. His instructions. Compared to some of the Masterpiece ones, which is like schematics. Here he is. Brawn. Comes in his robot mode, not his vehicle mode, so I'll have to transform him and then transform him back. It also comes with a drill attachment thing. And what's this, an alternate face or something? Nope. Some sort of tool or something. Yeah, and I don't think he normally carries a blaster because he is Brawn. He likes to, use fists and pound away, right? Sort of thing. So yeah, he doesn't come with a blaster, but there he is. Let's get him transformed and we'll see what he looks like. So there we have Brawn. Now, if I had to buy another Final Victory toy again, would I? Not unless I had to. I really like the look of him. He looks great. I like the mold and everything. His transformation, remember when I showed the instructions and it was like 8 steps, 2 little tiny pages? It was really hard to figure out, and as you could tell in the time lapse, it didn't go together in the end. I got really close, but something was off, and I just felt like I was gonna have to force things in, and I didn't want to, right? Because during the transformation process, like the top of his helmet, his head fell off, one of the windows fell out. So although I do like the mold, and I do like the way his vehicle would have looked and stuff, as well as his robot mode, the quality doesn't seem to be there. And it just seemed a little fragile and a little, just a little on the edge of destruction sort of thing, right? So, like I said, he looks great and everything, but I just don't think the quality's there. So, he's going to look really good on the shelf and everything, but yeah, he's not up to snuff with the other brands that I've bought, especially the Masterpiece. I haven't had one issue with one of the Masterpiece toys in terms of getting them to go into their... Megatron going into gun mode I didn't get that fully done, but he's the only problem I've had. And I mean, I've got however many of those now. He's the only problem I've had, whereas I've had a problem with this one, which is the only one I've got of Final Victory. Jazz, the Zeta brand, I couldn't get him transformed fully, and he's the only one I have from that brand. The Masterpiece ones really are kind of the gold standard in my opinion, and anything else you get outside of them is a bit of a risk, but like I said, he looks great, just not up to snuff quality wise. So, but can't wait to add him to the rest of the cast and keep continuing to fill out the roster. Till next time. What's this, you say? Bonus footage? Additional content? Yes, there is. Brawn was going to be my first of my next 3 videos because I had ordered some other characters that I'd found over the last few weeks. And Brawn showed up maybe last week sometime. Like not this past week that just came. Or maybe he showed up early in the week, I don't remember. But yesterday, on Friday, I also had another character arrive, my second character that I'd ordered out of this last 3. And he's a very small character, and I was going to do my own separate video for him just because. But when he showed up, he had no box, he had no instructions, he had no accessories. He was just him in a little pouch. So I thought, you know what, I'll just tack him on to the end of Brawn as kind of a bonus because it's not worth going through the whole thing with him. But... can you tell who he is from this? Should you know Transformers? Yes, he is a cassette. Soundwave's minions, so to speak. Although this guy had a little bit of an expanded role. Here he is. He is a purple cassette, and we will get him transformed. I had to kind of figure this out on my own, but it's easy because he's just little. But again, you don't want to bend things the wrong way and risk breakage, right? Can you figure out yet who he is? That's another thing about Bronze, though. He didn't even have the Autobot symbol on his mold, right? Like, just, it was lacking. But this little masterpiece guy is way better than Bro. Right? So, this little character is the Decepticon Rat-Bat. I believe Rat-Bat had more of a role in the comics than he did in the cartoon, if I remember correctly. He even led the Decepticons for a while. He was like a fuel expert, a fuel auditor, a fuel accountant for the Decepticons, and he had sensors that could sense fuel and other kind of objects of that nature, and energy, mineral sort of things. And in terms of the cartoon, we're watching the series right now, but we haven't seen him yet because I believe his first appearance is actually in Transformers the movie, if I'm not mistaken, and he's kind of the second wave of cassettes that comes along that I think are all introduced in the movie or not that long afterwards. Soundwave's original crew of Rumble, Frenzy, Ravage, Buzzsaw, Laserbeak sort of thing were in the cartoon for the longest time. They were the main crew, but then there were some other ones introduced afterwards. Excuse me, and I believe when Blaster first makes his appearance for the Autobots early in the series, he doesn't have any cassettes, but I think he does get some eventually in the movie, so then there's kind of Decepticon versus Autobot cassettes, and Rat-Bat's a big part of that. And he's also a lot like Laserbeak in the fact that he's small and he can fly, so he makes a good kind of spy who can get in and eavesdrop and stuff like that on the Autobots and other enemies and stuff like that. So yeah, that's all this was just a little extra with Rat-Bat.